भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
हरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संहारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. In Zoom meeting, if you want to turn off the notification of Zoom chats, then click on the chats and then click on these three dots, turn off notifications, click on that, click on the mute option, and now chats notification will not disturb you. Jai Shri Krishna.
संस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
Jai Shri Krishna. Seeking the blessings of Yogeshwar Krishna and our gurus, let me at the outset bow down to all my gurus, especially Param Pujya Swami, Guru Govinda Dev Giriji Maharaj. Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. A warm welcome to all sadhaks who have joined us for the interpretation session of Chapter 8, Akshara Brahma Yoga. We all are really blessed to be associated with Gita Pariwar as we get to know the meanings of shlokas in weekly Vivechan Satra. Before the session starts, let me request you to pay attention to me. Let's start our session with a prayer which is considered to be an integral part of our culture, and it's an expression of our devotion. And today, Asha Pandeyji from Maharajganj, Uttar Pradesh, she's a homemaker and she is going to recite the prarthana. Let's invoke the blessings of Lord Krishna. Asha Didi, please.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi.
Yes, Krishna.
Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishna Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna sabhi ko.
Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, Didi, for that melodious prayer and wonderful smile. Yeah. Now it's time for Deepa Prajwalan. Deepa Jyoti Parabrahma, Deepa Sarva Tamopaha, Deepena Sadhyate Sarvam, Sandhya Deepo Namostute. I prostrate to the dusk lamp, whose light is the knowledge principle, the Supreme Lord, which removes the darkness of ignorance and by which all can be achieved in life. Thus, this custom contains a wealth of intellectual and spiritual meaning. Today, Ashok Bhagat Singh Ji from Thane, Mumbai is doing the honors of lighting the lamp. Bhaiya joined Gita Pariwar in October 2022 and is giving seva and loves to read and sing. Bhaiya, please.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you for a devotional and beautiful Deepa Prajwalan. And now our Zoom platform is ready for Vivechan. I would like to inform all the participants that you may ask questions once the Vivechan is over. Raise your hands only after the session is over, please. Please register and play Olympiad and win prizes. So much to learn and wonderful information from Olympiad. Please do watch Geeta Sevi program and learn the varied sevas you can do. Share the link of this Vivechan to your near and dear ones. Now it's time for the most anticipated part of the session. Our speaker for the day is Vikas Vaidya ji from Pune. Vikas ji is a mechanical engineer with PGDM degree. Bhaiya has traveled the world over and was an NRI for 12 years. He owns a small IT company. He is a multilinguistic with knowledge of Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish languages. He has been reciting all 18 chapters of Gita daily for the last 7 years. Bhaiya is a trainer for all levels and involved in trainers selection and training them. He is also involved in teaching and Vivechan of Vishnu Sahasranam as a member of Pune Gita Pariwar, because he also gives guidance to Gita Vratis to prepare for Shringeri Peet Gita exam. Bhaiya himself has received first prize at the hands of Param Pujya Jagat Guru Shankaracharya. Today, Vikas Bhaiya is going to deal with the third part of 8th chapter, Akshara Brahma Yoga. Over to you, Vikas Bhaiya.
वसुदेवसुदं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण ऑल। पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमल में कोटि कोटि नमन। We are discussing Akshar Brahma Yoga, the 88th Adhyaya Bhagavad Gita, a unique one. Last time we had discussed up to slok number 18, I think. Yes, 18. Avyaktat vyaktaya sarva prabhavantya haragame ratragame praliyante tatraiva vyakta sanjake. Continue further. Bhutagramasya evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratragame vashah partha prabhavatya haragame. Bhutagram, multitude of beings. Bhuta is beings. Grama is the group, multitude. So, eva ayam, that same group, bhutva bhutva, having come into being again and again, bhutva bhutva, again and again. Avasha, helplessly, Partha is Arjuna, of course, prabhavati, to come into existence, aha agame, aha is day, agame is the beginning of day, at the coming of the day. So God says, multitude of beings repeatedly take birth with the advent of Brahmadeva's day. Bhutagramasa evayam bhutva bhutva pravatya haragame. Multitude of beings repeatedly take birth with the advent of Brahmadeva's day and are reabsorbed on the arrival of the cosmic night, Ratrayagame Vasha, to manifest again automatically on the advent of the next cosmic day. So this keeps on going. This keeps on going. This cycle keeps on going. Here Shri Krishna Bhagavan, it emphasizes the helplessness. It is not up to the wish and will of the Bhutagramas. It keeps on happening automatically. So Shri Krishna Bhagavan emphasizes the helplessness of all created beings within the cosmic law. The phrase Bhutva Bhutva, being born again and again, powerfully captures the repetitive nature of this samsara. Beings do not choose to dissolve or to re-emerge. They do so avasha, involuntarily, helplessly. Even gods and celestial beings are bound by this rhythm of Srishti Samsara. This shloka dismantles the ego's illusion of control. Despite intelligence, power, or virtue, no embodied being can escape the cosmic cycle by effort alone. This realization generates humility and spiritual urgency. Shri Krishna Bhagavan is not presenting a pessimistic worldview. Rather, he is preparing the ground for liberation. Only by fully understanding the bondage can one sincerely seek the freedom. So the lesson from this shloka is clear. As long as one identifies with the created order, Sushti Chakra, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate Ratragame Prasha, repetition is inevitable. If you keep on rotating the same cycle, then repetition is inevitable. True freedom lies not in better births, but in transcending the birth itself. Cross over the birth itself. Then only you can get final relief. When this world comes into manifest, we label that as creation. And when it becomes unmanifest, we call it apocalypse. But the apocalypse is nothing but the gross being subtle. Gross being subtle is apocalypse. Manifest becoming unmanifest is apocalypse. It is the dissolution of gross element back into their main source from where they have come. And innumerable such creations and catalysms keep on reoccurring again and again. After all, how many worlds are created in Brahmadeva's one night and one day? We saw last time, Brahmadeva one day is 4.3 billion, 4.32 billion years, human years, and the night is of the same length, 4.32 billion years. So in that much of duration of time, how many worlds are getting created and destroyed? It is simply inconceivable. Moreover, given the duration of Brahmadeva's day and night, he lives for 100 years. So in the 100-year span, how many worlds are getting created and destroyed? We don't know which calculator can calculate this number. Now Vedas list the pralayas of 4 types. Now this shloka we said that Ratragame praliyante tatra vagsanjage ham bhutagram se evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate. So the pralay, Vedas says pralay is of 4 types. Which 4 types? One is nitya pralay. There is one nitya pralay every day. What is that everyday pralay? This is the daily dissolution of our consciousness that takes place when we fall into deep sleep. That is nitya pralay. So we go through nitya pralay every day. Then second is naimittik pralay. This is the dissolution of all abodes up to Maharloka at the end of Brahmadeva's day. At that time, the souls residing in these abodes become unmanifest. They reside in a state of suspended animation in the body of Lord Vishnu. Again, when Brahmadeva creates these lokas, they are given birth according to their past karmas. That means when the dissolution takes place, it does not make you get rid of your past karmas. They keep following you in the next world also. Third is Mahapralay. Now what is Maharloka? See, there are, as we discussed last time, there are 7 lokas above the earth. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Swarloka. Swarloka is Swargaloka. That is the heaven of Indra. Maharloka where Rishi like Bhrugu, Atri, Vashishta, they stay. Jnanaloka, Tapoloka and Satyaloka. Satyaloka is Brahmaloka. So I was telling about the next pralay, that is Mahapralay. What is Mahapralay? This is the dissolution of the entire universe at the end of Brahmadeva's life of 100 years. At that time, all the souls in the universe, they go into the state of suspended animation in the body of Lord Vishnu. Their gross, sthul sharir and subtle, the sukshma sharir, they dissolve. But the current sharir, the causal body, it remains, even after Mahapralay. When the next cycle of creation takes place, they are again given birth according to their samskars and karmas stored in the causal body, current sharir. Fourth is Atyantik Pralay. What is Atyantik Pralay? When the soul finally attains the God, when there is no more rebirth, that is Atyantik Pralay. It gets released from the cycle of birth and death forever. That is Atyantik Pralay for that soul. Atyantik Pralay is the dissolution of bonds of Maya, which are binding the soul since eternity. So when it gets released from that Maya, that is the Atyantik Pralay. So 4 Pralayas are Nitya Pralay, Naimittik Pralay, Mahapralay and Atyantik Pralay. With this, we go to the next shloka, shloka number 20. Now, after describing the perishable world, the Lord, in this shloka, Sri Krishna Bhagavan describes the unmanifested eternal existence. Parasasmattu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yasya sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. God says, beyond this manifest and unmanifest material nature, there exists another unmanifest reality, eternal in nature, which does not perish when all beings perish. Everything perishes except that one entity that never perishes. Parastasmattu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha. Now we have seen that from Shlok 16 to 19, God has said that all worlds, from the abode of Brahma downwards, Abrahma Bhuvanaloka Punaravartin Arjuna, are subject to rebirth. But the eternal existence is different from them. The word Avyakta stands for the subtle body of Brahmadeva. Because we have learned from Shlok 18 and 19 that all manifest being, they emanate from Brahmadeva's subtle body. And again they merge back into the same. In 18th shloka we have said, Avyaktat vyakte sarva pravavante haragame ratragame praliyante tatraiva avyakta sanjake. And in 19th shloka, which I read just now, Bhutagramasya evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratragame vasha partha pravavate haragame. So beyond Brahmadeva's subtle body, there are two existences. Brahmadeva's subtle body is not the end. Beyond that, there are two existences. One is the primordial matter and next is the God, Paramatma. This context pertains to God. So unmanifested eternal existence has been used for God's description. That is the God, which does not perish even when all beings perish. Yasya sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsa na vinashyati. The unmanifested existence never perishes. Even though all beings perish, it does not perish. In that absolute existence, there is not the least modification, no change, no vikar. While the entire universe, there are many modifications, changes, vikars happening. In that one entity, there is no modification, no change, no vikar. So the worlds are created and worlds are destroyed. Even Brahmadeva is subject to appearance and disappearance. We saw it last time. So Brahmadeva's life is pretty long, 311 trillion years and 40 billion. 311 trillion and 40 billion years is Brahmadeva's life. So forget about planning some long-term thing in our life. What will happen if to your planning when Brahmadeva's night commences, when everything will get dissolved? Now consider this with our dreams, which we see many times, almost every day. All that our mind sees in dreams, all the places, all the sights which you see, all the people that you interact with in your dream, where do they go when you wake up? Some characters you see in the dream. Now when you wake up, where do these characters go who have appeared in your dream? Is not that the apocalypse of the world which you had created in your dreams? Now hypothetically, say that the people whom you see in your dreams insist on continuing to exist even when you wake up and enter into your real life. तो सपने में से आपके रियल जिंदगी में आ जाना बोलेंगे तो कैसा होगा? Is it possible? The characters you see in the dream, they say that no, we want to come to your real life. Can they? Is it possible? In fact, the moment the dreamer wakes up, this entire dream world vanishes at the same very moment. So in a way, we can say that the entire world is Ishvara's dream. When he wakes up, the world gets formed. When he goes to sleep, everything goes finished, dissolved. And we are all no more real than our dream characters. We are the characters in Bhagavan Paramatma's dreams. But we insist on adhering to our false identity. मैं तो real हूँ, while we are a dream character in Paramatma's dreams. And just keep on getting entangled and involved in all sorts of mind games and ego games. While we are all dummy characters. We are the characters in the Paramatma's dream world. However, the dream of Ishvara ends and he wakes up and then the dream world vanishes in a moment. But how strongly we hold on to our false I, and what are we in reality? What is this I? Who are we? Nothing. We are nothing. After all, how many people know you in your own colony, in your own mohalla, in your own city? How many people know you in your state? How many people know you in the country, India, or wherever you are staying? How many people know you in the world? And then, how many people know you in this universe? How many people know you in other galaxies? Zero. Zero. So who are you? Who are you? At the level of body, you are nothing. and you are nothing at the level of mind and intellect as well. That is why disengage your identity from your body, your mind, and your intellect. Because at this level, you are nothing. The body, mind, intellect is impure, transient, and inert. The real I, on the other hand, is the truth, the bliss, and the sentient. And remember, this pure I does not become tainted, impure by admixing with the body, mind, and intellect. It always remains pristine. See, even if you mix pure gold with bronze or copper, although it may seem as if it has been amalgamated nicely, the goldsmith can readily isolate the pure gold from the impure stuff. And this is exactly what Krishna Bhagavan is saying. The Supreme Parabrahma remains transcendental to the manifest and unmanifest. Whether worlds are created or worlds are destroyed, it makes no difference to that eternal Parabrahma. So this shloka in essence says that both beyond perishable and manifest world, there exists an unmanifest eternal reality, Akshara Parabrahma, where when everything is destroyed, the reality remains unchanged. That Akshara Parabrahma remains intact, unchanged. How to understand this shloka in our day-to-day life? Rajiv had worked for 25 years in a large multinational company. His identity was deeply tied to his role in the company, his designation, his cabin, his authority, his visiting cards, and his monthly salary, fat monthly salary. He believed almost unconsciously, this company is my life. Many of us do that. When we're at the peak of our career, we say this company is my life. Without this company, I can't live. One morning, an unexpected email arrived. Due to global restructuring, the company will shut down operations in your country. Multinationals decide like that. Within 6 months, everything disappeared. No office building which was there, a huge office building was vacated. Departments were dissolved. Designations vanished. Seniority meant nothing. Rajiv felt shattered. He said to a friend, everything I built is gone. My whole world has collapsed. For weeks, he was restless, angry, and fearful. Kya hoga ab? One evening, while clearing old files, he noticed something strange. Though the company had vanished, his skills, his values, his experience, his discipline, and the clarity of thought were still intact. Company has closed down. But his experience, it remains. Values remains. His skills, they do remain. Clarity of thought, discipline that he has inculcated remains. He realized the structure was gone. The name was gone. But system was gone. But the essence that had worked through that system was still alive, was still intact. Slowly, Raju started mentoring the young professionals, consulting independently, and teaching management students. He discovered a deeper confidence, not dependent on any organization, built within himself. One day he reflected, the company was only a form. What truly worked was something deeper within me. So connection to this shloka is, just as the company, which was the manifest structure, perished, the inner capability, unmanifest essence, remained untouched. Geeta clarifies that this visible world, bodies, roles, success, failure, institutions, is manifest and perishable. But beyond it exists Akshara Brahma, unmanifest, eternal, and unaffected by the destruction. When all forms dissolve, the reality still remains. So the deeper message of this, through this shloka and through this small story is of his position, wealth, body, even the relationships are temporary frameworks. When they collapse, we feel destroyed because we mistake the framework for reality. Gita reminds us, you are not that framework. You are the foundation of that framework. You are not that framework. Framework will come and go. You will remain. You can create another foundation. You can create another framework. Just as the electricity remains even if the bulb breaks, gold remains even when the ornaments are melted, consciousness remains even when bodies perish. So, the eternal Akshara Parabrahma remains when the manifest world ends. Ask yourself, if my role disappears, what still remains in me? If my body changes, who is aware of that change? If everything external is lost, what cannot be lost? That unchanging witness within us is what this shloka is referring to. That is Parabrahm, which never perishes. So the world will rise and the world will fall. Forms will appear and disappear. But that which sees the rise and fall is eternal. Something is there, no? Which sees the rise and fall. That is eternal. That eternal, unmanifest reality is Sahasanatana. That is our real nature, Sahasanatana. Next sloka. Now, Shri Bhagavan explains that perishable beings, after attaining imperishable, do not return. Once you attain that imperishable Akshar Parabrahma, you don't return to this material world again. Avyakto Kshara Ityuktastamahuh Paramangatim Yam Prapyana Nivartante Tadhama Paramam Mamo. That is my place of residence, Tadhama Paramam Mamo. Avyakta is unmanifested, we know. Akshara is imperishable. Iti Ukta, thus said, Tamo, that Aho is, they call Paramam Gatim, the supreme destination, Yam, which Prapya, having attained, Na Nivartante, do not return, Tat Dhama, that abode, Paramam Mama. That is that supreme Parabrahma, that Param Dham is my place of residence. That is my abode. So God says that which is described as imperishable, unmanifest essence is deemed the highest goal. And those beings who reach it never return back. Anivartante. And that is my supreme abode. That is where I stay. So God has given his address to us now. He is staying here at that place. And God is inviting us to his supreme abode now, which is untouched by death and destruction. That which cannot be pierced by the weapons, which cannot be burned by fire or submerged by water, which cannot be eliminated by death. Death doesn't touch it. That eternal truth, that bliss, that supreme Chaitanya is my real essence, my real identity. That is what God says. But we have already learned Adhyaya 2nd. From that Adhyaya 2nd, we have seen the characteristics of our soul. Naina Jinda Sistrani, Naina Nandi Pavaka, all that. So they are the same characteristics which God has and our soul has. So is the God, in other words, saying that our soul is Paramdham? Our soul is God's Paramdham. This is a thought which we should take further when we sit for the next meditation. So take this thought. Thus, if you aspire to reach the transcendental destination, then there is no alternative to practicing the appropriate steps of yoga with persistence and perseverance. You have to follow this. And this needs to be supplemented with dispassion and equanimity, vairagya and samata. Because samatma yoga uchyate. We have learned in second adhyaya. So samata of senses and mind. Senses should not be attached to the sensory objects. Mind should not be attached to the people of this material world. Intellect should be distilled and pranayam should be perfected. These are the steps we have learned in 6th adhyaya also and in this adhyaya also. Bhuror madhya pranamavesha samyak. So only then you can enter the world of meditation. When you make this basic preparation, then only we can enter into the world of meditation. But we must remember that these are only the prerequisites of meditation. This is not meditation. These are the prerequisites of meditation. If we practice these techniques properly, then there is a distinct possibility that over a period of time, it can take you into meditation. See, if someone who does not know the English alphabets also, if he is asked to read Shakespeare, for example, is it possible? He doesn't know English language. You give him a thick book of Shakespeare, can he read that? Someone who does not know the basic elementary mathematics 2 plus 2, can you understand the advanced mathematics, differential calculus and integral calculus? You cannot understand. Likewise, those who are desirous of entering the state of meditation need to understand that first they will have to clear the elementary levels. What are the elementary levels? Perfection of body, senses, mind, and pranayam. Prana. See, God is omniscient, and though Jiva is a fragment of God, it is inflicted with the disease of ignorance. Our Jiva is inflicted with the disease of ignorance as it gets too much attached to the body and mind. Thus, it has to take the necessary medicine for eradication of this ignorance. There has to be a medication to eliminate that ignorance, to eradicate that ignorance. What are the medicines available with us? Yogasana. Satsanga is a medicine. Observing silence is a medicine. Moderation in all that we do, including eating, sleeping, talking, is also a meditation. Thus, it is only when you have all that is needed will it be possible for you to meditate upon that imperishable, unmanifest, pure essence. And one who will meditate upon this transcendental essence, what will he find? Once we comply with these basic necessities of meditation and we sit into meditation for days and for months and for years, what will we gain? We will find Shri Krishna. We will find Shri Krishna. And it is not the Shri Krishna that we see in photo with the playing flute and mukut on his head. It is the infinite, eternal Shri Krishna, that is the Chaitanya Parabrahma, that we will attain. So this shloka says that the supreme destination where you reach, then there is no return from that destination. How to understand this in our daily life? Ananya, a girl, Ananya, she worked in a multinational company and traveled constantly. 1 week in Singapore, next week in London, next week in New York. So constantly airports, hotels, taxis, her life felt like a loop, going here and there, here and there, here and there. We see a lot of IT professionals doing like this. Once after returning from a particularly exhausting trip, she collapsed on her sofa. And she said to her mother, I am tired of packing and unpacking. I wish there was a place where I could just stay. Her mother replied softly, you travel because none of these places are your home. If you reach your true home, you won't feel the need to move again. But how to find our true home? A few days later, during meditation retreat, Ananya heard the shloka from Geeta. This shloka, 21st shloka. Avyaktokshaре ityuktastamaho parangati yam prapyena nivartante tadhama paramam mama. It said, there exists a supreme state reaching which one never returns. Suddenly her life made sense. Her constant movement was not success, it was restlessness. Her achievements were not destinations, they were temporary stopovers. She realized pleasure comes and goes, positions change, relationships transform, but there is state of inner fulfillment where nothing more needs to be achieved. This is not a physical place, but a state of realization. From that day onwards, Ananya still worked, but without the desperation to arrive somewhere. She did not to get that inner consciousness by arriving somewhere. She had understood the meaning of final destination. Now, whether you are in London or Singapore or all that, when final destination you know is your inner realization, then the place doesn't matter. And that is the ultimate destination. So the message of this shloka is, all worldly destinations, they require return. Go to London, come back. Go to Singapore, come back. But the self-realization is the only journey that ends forever. Once you attain that self-realization, There is no further journey. That is the end of all journeys. Now, these shlokas, what we have learned, 20 and 21, Parastasmat bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yasya sarveshu bhuteshu nashat sarve nashati. There is an eternal reality beyond everything that we see. And Shlok 21 is teaching us, Avyakto kshara ityuktastamah paramangatim yam prapyana nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Reaching that reality ends all restlessness and return. Together, these two shlokas remind us that the world is a journey, truth is the destination, self-realization is the destination, and that destination is permanent. Once you attain that, you don't have to return. So this is wonderful meaning of these two shlokas if we take it into our day-to-day life. Next shloka, 22nd. Now Shri Krishna Bhagavan says that imperishable Parabrahma can be attained by exclusive devotion. Purushasya parah partha bhaktya labhyastananya yasyandasthani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. Purush, the supreme being. Sah para, that supreme, partha is Arjuna, of course, bhaktya, by devotion. Labhya, attainable. Ananya, exclusive, undivided. Yasya, whose antasthani, dwelling within. Bhutani, all beings. Yena, by whom, sarva idam, all this universe, tatam, is pervaded. So God says, Arjuna, the Supreme Lord within whom all beings abide and who pervades everything, that Supreme Purush is attainable by uninterrupted, unwavering bhakti, devotion. Now what is bhakti or upasana? Upasana is upa-asana, means sitting by the side of. That is upa-asana. Sitting by the side of is upasana. Thus bhakti would mean sitting by the side of God. And God is imperishable. God is indestructible. Hence the destruction of our mind, that is being in the state of no mind. That is what is sitting close to God means. How can the mind which is perpetually engrossed in thoughts lead to God? God can be attained only through thoughtlessness. The mind in normal condition is the world, because it is always thinking of the material world. And no mind is the way to the God. When the mind becomes no mind, that is the way to the God. Darshan, Anubhuti of God is possible only in sheer silence of mind. When the mind is cluttered with so many thoughts, can you think of God? When the mind is no mind, then that is the way to the God. That is why Kabir would always say, move from mind to no mind. Silence this mind. The one who is really keen on silencing his mind will neither praise or defame anyone. When the mind is silenced, there is no question of praising or defaming anyone. Moreover, you should also keep away from those who praise you or those who slander you, because mind is in silence. So you don't get affected. And that is the mind which can attain the God. That may be difficult in the beginning because we are all used to gossiping about something or the other. You need someone to share your views about others. Thus, you laud someone, you appreciate someone and badmouth someone else. That is our habit. Kya kare we? We need to get out of this foolishness. We must remember that it is only when we get ourselves free from all these dualities that we can attain unwavering devotion to the God. When the mind is full of these dualities, praising somebody, criticizing somebody, praising somebody, criticizing somebody, we cannot offer true devotion to the God. No attachment for anyone, no aversion for anyone. That should be the supreme objective of our life. So if you have a guru, you will get the same teaching from the guru. Guru will tell you the same thing. But then who is guru? A small story. The writer of this article, he says, the day I got my postgraduate degree, I did not waste a minute. I rushed back to my village, Ausagram in Bengal, West Bengal, to become a teacher. Yes, I had higher salary offers from schools in bigger towns, but for me, that rupees 169, that was the salary, 169 per month, which was offered by my village school, it meant a lot to me. I was very keen to teach students from my village who needed a good teacher the most. I taught in that school for 39 years and retired at the age of 60, but my mind was very restless. I did not want to retire and kept asking myself, what should I do now after retirement? A few days later, I found the answer to my question. One morning at around 6:30, I saw three young girls walking towards my house. I was shocked when they told me that they had cycled for over 23 kilometers to see the teacher who has retired. They were young tribal girls who were desperate to learn. With folded hand, they asked, Master Ji, will you please teach us? I immediately agreed and said, I can teach you, but you will have to pay my school fees for the whole year. Are you ready to pay? They said, yes, Master Ji, we'll manage the money somehow. So I said, okay, my fees is rupee 1 for the whole year. They were so happy. They hugged me and said, we'll pay you 1 rupee and 4 chocolates also we'll give you along with that. I felt elated, he says. It felt like I got a new reason to leave. So after they left, I changed my clothes and went straight back to my school and requested the principal to give me a classroom to teach the tribal girls. But the principal refused to help me. However, I was not going to stop now. After teaching for 39 years, I still had a lot of energy left to teach. So after coming back home, I cleaned my veranda, decided to start teaching there. It was in 2004, my school had started with those 3 girls, and today we have more than 350 students. Most of them young tribal girls. On the request of my students, I increased fee by another 1 rupee. My day still starts at 6 a.m. with a walk around the village, and then I open my doors for the incoming students. Some girls walk for more than 20 kilometers. I always feel that I have a lot to learn from these tribal girls. Over the years, my students have become professors, head of the departments, or IT professionals. They always call me and give me the good news about their success and progress. And as always, I ask them to bring me some chocolates. And when I got the Padma Shri award, the writer says, when I got the Padma Shri award, my phone did not stop ringing. The whole village celebrated with me. It was a happy day, but I did not allow my students to bunk the class even on that day. Even that day I took my classes. The doors of my school are open for everybody. Anyone can come anytime to visit my school. Our village is a beautiful place and all my students' future is bright. I'm sure we can all learn a lot from those students. So that is my story, he says. I'm a simple teacher from West Bengal who enjoyed his tea and evening naps. The main attraction of my life is that people call me Master Moshai. Master Moshai. I want to teach until my last breath. This is what I was sent to the world for. This is the feeling of all gurus in the world. This is the story of an ideal personality, a selfless teacher, Shri Sujit Chattopadhyay. This is a real story. This is not an anecdote. This is a real story. The 77-year-old village school teacher, popularly known as Master Moshai, he has been working tirelessly for decades to spread education, especially among tribal students. He was conferred Padma Shri Award by President in November 2021, after the Modi era started. Modi ji knows who is worthy of these Padma Shri Awards. Earlier governments were giving some Khans of Bollywood who had nothing to do with the social service as such. Were never an ideal character in themselves. Now these awards are being given to people who really deserve it and are engaged in the social work without any expectation. This Mr. Chattopadhyay has dedicated his entire life in preparing ideal citizens for the right future of our country. His exceptional integrity and empathy deserve the nation's sincere salute. They are the gurus. He is one of the unsung heroes of India whose efforts deserve to be lauded nationwide. There are many such unsung heroes in our country, in this world, who have dedicated their lives to others and serve the society without any selfishness or expectations. People like him are needed today to make this world more compassionate and more beautiful. All we need is to recognize them. And when we look for them with an open heart and open mind, we'll find them right in front of us. A true guru never asks for anything from his disciples. In fact, the gurus exist only to serve the humanity. They are not there to take something, but only to give you something. That is the guru. Continue with next sloka, 23rd. Now in this slok 16, if you remember, Shri Krishna Bhagavan had explained that all worlds from Brahmaloka downwards are subject to return. Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravarti Rajana. But Mama Vidyate Mante Punarjanma na Vidyate. That is what we learned in 16th sloka. Attaining him, there is no rebirth. But he did not explain the time, the path, when they do not return, and also the time or path when they return. So he starts this topic now, when they return and when they don't return. Yatra kale tuna avratyam avratyai chaiva yoginaha prayata yantitam kalam bhakshyami bharatarshabho. We'll go straight to the meaning of this shloka. God says, now I shall explain, I shall advise, O beast of Bharata, that means Arjun, the time is the path. When yogis leave their bodies, never to return. One-way traffic, never to return. And also the path when they depart, to return. They go, but they come back. After death, some jivas will be born, whereas others won't. Whether you will be subject to rebirth depends on your time of death. That is what this shloka says. Now we did not have a say in the time of our birth. Did we have any say when to take birth? No. Neither did we have any choice over where we were born or to which set of parents we are born. We have no choice in all these matters. We had no control on nakshatras in which we were born. What is nakshatra? Nakshatra is the astrological term referring to one of the 27 houses the moon passes through in its orbit around the earth. That is nakshatra, we call it. So in which nakshatra we should take birth? We have no control over it. And this is very important because it has great astrological bearing, nakshatra. There are some nakshatras in which only yogis are born. Bhogis cannot be born in such prime nakshatras. The nakshatras you are born in, it exerts tremendous influence on your entire life, including your looks, your intelligence, your attitude, your aptitude. Some nakshatras are rajasic, some are tamasic, and some are sattvic. But it is not as straightforward as that. For in one degree, the nakshatra is rajasic, but in the next degree, it becomes tamasic and so on. So the degree of nakshatra also matters. It is very complex science. The way you are is decided by a complex interaction of diverse factors. Where and when you are born, your body, your mind, your intellect, your disposition, everything is propelled by your previous karmas. Many of us have performed experiments with magnets in our schools. Magnet chala hai na aisa? When you run a magnet atop a bunch of iron nails, they are all lifted up by the magnetic force of that magnet. And once the magnet is removed away, the nails drop down to their original position. The nails have no choice. Whether they will move or they will drop. Nails have no choice. Over that magnetic force of magnet, the nails have no choice. The entire game is of the magnet. Similarly, the entire game of your life is of your mind. And the magnet of karmic law bestows the consequences of our auspicious or inauspicious karmas performed under the directive of our mind. Thus, sometimes your mind will lift you up in the life, and at other times, it may make you fall down. Mind is the magnet. It can lift you up or it can drop you down. This is the veritable truth. In fact, if you reach a guru, it is also a result of your previous sattvic karma that you have done sometime, that you reach that guru. Furthermore, when the time of fructification of inauspicious karma will arrive, when in the past life or this life, some demeritorious karmas have been done, and that karma phala props up, then the same guru to whom you have gone running, he will become unappealing for you. मजा नहीं आ रहा है, ऐसा करेंगे आप. And how many karmas do you we have done till now? Let alone the previous lifetimes, do we have any inkling of the karmas that you have done in this lifetime? Knowingly or unknowingly, you have hurt others, you have lied, you have eyed others' properties. Even not you personally, but I am talking in general, isn't it? And on the top of that, there are those who do not have any spiritual guidance at all. We are discussing this because we have some spiritual thing now in our life, thanks to Bhagavad-Gītā, thanks to Gita Pariwar. Such misguided people keep on carrying out all kinds of nefarious and evil acts. Have you read in newspaper? Knifing someone for a mere of 50 rupees, or hitting father for his wealth, or killing a friend for some silly argument, and what not. Thus, if by virtue of a previous auspicious karma, you do get to be in the company of a sage, of a guru, or say Gita Pariwar, then guide it carefully. Guard it carefully. As a person who has won the lottery will guard his lottery ticket. The path of spirituality on which we are traveling, we got a lottery ticket from God. Deserve it like that lottery ticket. Make most of the wonderful opportunity of this wonderful opportunity. Learn wholeheartedly. Practice with a firm resolve and pray to the Almighty that the good fortune of being in this situation prevails forever. That is why devotee constantly prays to the Almighty, "Oh Lord, I don't know when my intellect will get deluded and lead me astray again. Thus keep an eye on me and keep on guiding and looking after me so that I continue to read or continue to tread on this path with full conviction. Bless me with your grace, O Almighty, that I don't ever get separated from my spiritual practices, succumbing to my lethargy. Lord, may I always treasure your divine grace and never ever forget to be in your remembrance." This is of utmost importance. We get drifted away because of our past karmas. We should keep praying God that you can give me other punishment for my past karmas, but don't drift me away from this spiritual path. Next sloka, 24th. Now in this sloka, Sri Krishna Bhagavan describes the path of yogis who depart but not to return. They never return. What is that path? Agni Jyotirha Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tat Shukla Paksha, that means bright fortnight, what we call it. Shanmasa is 6 months, we know. Uttarayanam, the northern course of the sun, Uttarayan. Tatra, there. Prayata, those who depart. Gachanti, go. Brahma, Parabrahma. Brahmavid, knows of Brahma. Janaha is people. So God says, in the path in which the deities preside over the effulgent fire god, the daylight, the bright fortnight, and the 6 months of northern solstice, Uttarayan, depart after death. The knowers of Parabrahma finally reach the Parabrahma, the supreme destination. So this is the path of light. Agni Jyotira Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam. Agni, Jyoti, Aha, Shukla and Shanmas. This is the path. In the bright path, first of all, there is a rite of fire god, Agni. So the soul is given to that Agni. Fire gives light at night, and that light works for a short distance. So it takes the soul for a short distance and for a short time, while the daylight works for a longer distance and longer time. So after fire, day. A bright fortnight is the night of 15 days that we know. Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha. The light of this bright fortnight called Shukla Paksha remains for a very long distance and for many days, that is 15 days in the sky. The northern path of sun is of 6 months. Uttarayanam, and is equal to the day of gods. The light of northern path remains for a very long distance and time. Sun is the deity of Uttarayan. Sun is the deity of Uttarayan. Uttar is north. Ayan is movement. So Uttarayan, movement of sun towards north. Typically, this period starts from 22nd of December till 21st of June. So this was that path. Now what happens further? Tatra prayata gachanti brahma brahma vido janaha. Those who pass along the bright path first go to the territory of fire god. Then fire god hands them over to the god of day. After they have crossed the fire god's territory, they are given to the god of day. Similarly, the god of day hands them over to the gods of bright fortnight, that is Shukla Paksha. And he hands them over to the god of northern course of sun, Uttarayan, and he hands them over to the god of the abode of Brahma, Brahmadeva. They are thus liberated and attain the god. So this is the path of bright light. Here the word Brahmavid has been used for those who know Parabrahma and not those who have realized him. If they had realized him, they would have been liberated souls. They would not have gone to the abode of Brahmadeva also. Such souls get liberated along with Brahmadeva when there is a final dissolution. We saw pralayas. So when final dissolution, they get liberated along with Brahmadeva. At the completion of the age of Brahmadeva's life, which is 311 trillion and 40 billion years, when there is a final dissolution, then the pure-hearted persons attain the supreme goal with Brahmadeva himself. So the path is Shukla Paksha, Uttarayan, Brahmaloka, and Supreme Lord. In salvation by sages, the abode of Brahmadeva is just like a station on the way, where only the persons craving for pleasure alight. But those who have no craving for pleasures do not alight there. As if we have no purpose on the way. Whether there is a station or jungle, we have to go to the final destination. What difference does it make? But we must know that besides this gross world, there are other planes and subtler realms of existence also. One such subtle realm is running parallel with this gross world. And within this subtle realm, there are some planes where yogis and jnanis live. Although they have relinquished their gross bodies, they still retain their subtle bodies, their sukshma sharir. And the only reason they do so is to assist and come to the aid of struggling devotees. At times, one gets to hear of an ordinary person suddenly reciting entire Gita, or say Vishnu Sahasranam, or some other scripture, or a worldly person abruptly becomes a sannyasi. So somebody in Sukshma Sharir is taking care of this soul. Such baffling incidents are not unheard of. Gita Pariwar, we have seen many such examples. A 3-year-old girl reciting the entire Gita. 85-year-old man reciting the entire Gita. It happened. Now, how to imagine this path of light in our day-to-day life? There was once a young engineer, his name was Arjun, who worked in a large company. He was intelligent, hardworking, and ambitious. Early in his career, he was given a choice between two paths. One senior colleague advised him, focus only on money and power. Cut corners if needed. Results matter, not the values. This was the first path his colleague advised him. Another mentor told him, work honestly. Serve the larger good and keep your conscience clear. Progress may be slower, but it will be steady and peaceful. This was the second option, second path advised to him. The first path looked attractive and quick, like walking at night with the flashy lights and loud applause. The second path looked quiet and demanding, like walking at dawn with little recognition. Arjuna, that named person, he chose the second path, work honestly wala path. Years passed. Some of his peers who chose shortcuts, they rose quickly in their life, but many later faced stress, fear, and insecurity. if you lost their reputation overnight when circumstances changed. Arjun, on the other hand, progressed steadily. More importantly, he slept peacefully, earned genuine respect, and felt inner clarity. Even when challenges came, he did not feel lost or afraid. He knew where he was going and why. One day, his mentor said to him, "You chose the path of light. It may not shine loudly, but it always leads forward." At that moment, Arjuna understood the deeper truth. Life is not just about how fast we move, life is about in which direction we move. Now, this shloka I said, Sri Krishna Bhagavan says that those who depart or live aligned with light, Jyoti, clarity, Shukla Paksha, knowledge and awareness, they attain the highest goal. So this shloka is not only about death, it is about our day-to-day living as well. This shloka is not about death, but it is about how we live the life. Living in awareness, living in truth, living with clarity is the path of light. Living in ignorance, living in greed, living in confusion is the path of darkness. So take away from this shloka for us is, every day through our choices, we walk either towards light or towards darkness. The path of light always leads us to peace and freedom. So getting back to this shloka, Shri Krishna Bhagavan says, the sun is the deity of Uttarayan, the 6 months of northern solstice, and the yogis and jnanis who leave their bodies in this auspicious period ultimately attain supreme Parabrahma. We know the story of Pitama Bhishma. He waited for Uttarayan to start and then he gave up his body because he wanted to die in the Uttarayan. Because yogis dying in Uttarayan, they don't come back. He said, I don't want to rebirth again. Okay, continue down. What is the path of darkness? In this shloka, next shloka, 25th shloka, Shri Bhagavan describes the path for those who depart to return. They go, but they return. What is their path? Dhumo ratre sada krishna shanmasa dakshinayinam tatra chandramasa yotir yogi prapya nivartate. Vapis aa gaye. Nivartate. Dhuma is smoke. Ratri is night. Krishna Paksha, dark pot night. Dakshinayanam, the southern course of sun. Chandramasam, the lunar. Jyoti, light world. Yogi, yogis are yogis. Prapya, having attained. Nivartate is come back, returns. So in the path in which God preside over smoke, Dhuma, night, Ratri, the dark fortnight, Krishna Paksha, and the 6 months of southern solstice, then traversing through that, the yogi after death catches the lunar light, Chandramasam. Chandralok pahunch jata hai, and he returns to the mortal world. So in the dark path, the god of smoke hands over to those who pass along that path to the god of night when they have crossed his territory. Similarly, the god of night hands them over to the god of dark fortnight, Krishna Paksha, who hands them over to the god of southern solstice, Dakshinayanam. Dakshinayanam, it starts from 21st of June to 22nd of December. He further hands them over to the god of lunar night, light, Chandramasam, and they attain the divine world such as heaven, etc. Then after enjoying pleasure as a fruit of their meritorious and virtuous acts, they have to return. After spending time in heaven, they have to return. The moon is the deity of Dakshinayanam. Thus the path for Dakshinayanam, for this dark path is Krishna Paksha, Dakshinayanam, Chandraloka and mortal world. Come back. The Chandraloka mentioned here is not the moon that we see every day. It is far, 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 far away even than the sun. That is Chandraloka there. Here the dark path stands for the higher worlds. Dark path does not mean it's a bad thing. It has been called dark because it is darker than the bright path. Only comparison. It is not dark as the word dark usually means. Ordinary men are born in the mortal world after death. Sinners go to the demonic wombs, while sinners go to the hell. While these people are going to Chandralok. So dark path only for comparison purpose. Those who pass along with the dark path are far, 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 far superior to those who take demonic births or go to hell. Because this path is better and brighter than the other paths which lead to cycle of birth and death. Now, how do the jivas come back to the earth, to this mortal world? While returning from the dark path, the soul first comes into the sky, Akash Tattva, then to the clouds through air, and through rain it enters the grain, and then through grain it enters the male, that means through semen, and female through ovum. And when male and female come together, it takes the birth. Soul gets the body. That is, it acquires a new body. Thus, it follows the wheel of birth and death this way. So, these two shlokas what we have read, one is about the path of light, another path of darkness, two paths. Lord Krishna presents two paths. Not to frighten Arjuna, but to awaken the discernment in him. These paths are symbolic, practical, and deeply relevant to everyday's life also. They answer one fundamental question. Are we moving toward clarity or confusion? Are we moving towards freedom or towards bondage? The 24th sloka that we read about the path of light, Agni Jyotira Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam, the path of light, symbols used by Shri Krishna are light, Jyoti, day, Aha, bright fortnight, Shukla Paksha, and 6 months of Uttarayan, northern solstice. The inner meaning of this is the path represents a life lived in awareness and clarity, truth and integrity, self-discipline and inner purity, and conscious alignment with the higher purpose. That is the path of light. Such a person acts without inner conflict, accepts the responsibility, is not driven by fear or greed, lives with remembrance of the higher self. The result of this bright path is, Shri Krishna Bhagavan says that such a soul does not return, meaning it is not bound again by confusion. Once the confusion is cleared, he is not bound again by confusion. It attains the freedom, peace of mind and clarity. Even while living, such a person experiences liberation, salvation, moksha. This is not about time of death only. It is about the quality of consciousness that we preserve during our life, how we live the life. Well, 25th shloka, which was about the path of darkness, symbols used by Shri Krishna were smoke, dhuma, night, ratra, dark fortnight, Krishna Paksha, and 6 months of southern solstice. That is Dakshinayinam. The inner meaning of these three things, these four things is, the path represents a life dominated by ignorance and confusion, ego and uncontrolled desires, fear, attachment and shortcuts, living without reflection or awareness. Such a person is reactive and not reflective. प्रतिकार करेगा, प्रतिसाद नहीं देगा. He is reactive, not reflective. Seeks pleasure but finds restlessness. Moves fast but without direction. Remains trapped in the cycle of regret. Result is, Shri Krishna says, such a soul returns again and again. Meaning, patterns repeat, suffering continues, lessons are not learned, bondage remains. This is not punishment. God is not saying this is punishment. It is simply the natural consequences of unconscious living. If you spend your life with this kind of thing, unconscious living, then this is the natural consequence. That is what God is saying. So the core teaching of these two shlokas is 24th shloka, that is the path of light, and 25th shloka, the path of darkness. In path of light, there is awareness. In path of darkness, there is ignorance. In path of light, there is clarity. In path of darkness, there is confusion. Path of light is truth. Path of darkness is deception. Path of light is self-discipline, where darkness, impulsiveness. In path of light, you get the peace. There you get the restlessness. Path of light gives you freedom. There you get the repetition of coming and coming and coming back. Most important insight is, Shri Krishna Bhagavan is not describing some geography or astrology here. He is teaching the psychology and the spirituality. Every day, every decision, we are choosing one of these two paths we go on. Speaking truth or lying, acting with awareness or impulse, choosing long-term peace or short-term peace with short-term pleasure. This decides whether we are on the path of light or on the path of darkness. These small choices, they shape our inner direction, whether we are marching ahead on the path of light or on the path of darkness. Practical reflection of this is ask yourself, am I acting from clarity or fear? Does this choice increase the peace of mind or increasing the restlessness in me? Am I aware or am just reacting to the situation? The answer show which path you are walking on today, whether it is path of light or path of darkness. The path of light is not loud, but it leads to freedom, mukti. The path of darkness is tempting, but it leads back to the same suffering again and again. Bhagavad Gita says, these both slokas, 24th and 25th, are not about death only. They are how to live wisely. How to live wisely. Next sloka, 26th. This shloka and the next one, shloka, conclude the discussion about these two paths, of path of light and path of darkness. Shukla Krishne gati yeti jagadashashvate mate ekaya yatyana vritti manyaya vartate punaha. Shukla Krishne, bright and dark. Shukla and Krishna Paksha. Gati is path, Jagat is the world, Shashvate, eternal, Mate, considered, Ekaya, by one, Anavrittim, no return, Anyaya, the by other, Avartate, return, Puna, again. God says, these two paths, the bright and the dark, are considered to be the world's eternal path. These are going on for ages, we don't know how many. Proceeding by one, the man has not to return, while taking the other, he returns. Shukla Krishne Gati Yate Jagada Shashvate Mate. All creatures, according to their action or by grace of God, sometime or the other, receive this incomparable gift of human life. And then, according to the actions performed in this human life, they go higher, middle, or lower regions. We learn in Gunatraya Vibhagya. ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्था मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः जगन्निगुणवृत्तिस्थः अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः. Now it depends upon them as to how they make themselves qualified for and which path. They want to go up, they want to remain here, or they want to go down. It depends on their karmas. So long as men attach importance to perishable objects of the world and have desire for them, they can go to the lower region. So a striver should always be alert and cautious. He should never attach importance to the perishable things of the world and should never hate anyone, because that person whom you hate has a fragment of God which is in you. And by hating him, you are actually hating the God. As Shri Krishna Bhagavan says, yoga is imperishable. The two paths described thus, path of light and path of darkness, they are far more imperishable and eternal. The merit of knowing these two paths will be explained in the next sloka. Those who know this path, what do they get? Next sloka, 27. Naite suti parthajanan yogi munyeti gashana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. No, not. Ete means this. This means these two paths. Shruti paths. Janan, knowing. Yogi, the yogi. Muhyati, deluded, confused. Tasmat, therefore. Yoga yukta, united in yoga, bhava, be. God says, knowing these two paths, in essence, O Partha, no yogi is deluded. Therefore, O Arjuna, always get established in yoga and become a yogi. The Lord is talking about those yogis who, while they are alive, know of these two paths after death. Such a yogi lives his life wisely, fully aware of his fate after death. See, there are some people who shrug off, who dismiss all this. They say, who knows what happens after death? So why should we worry about death and thereafter? These people say, we can see only this tangible world. We don't want to see something beyond. Pitama Bhishma, we know, he had a boon of leaving the body at his will. And thus he could have exercised the choice anytime. Toward the end of Mahabharata war, Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows, his body bleeding profusely and in obvious pain. Arjuna was distressed to see his guru like this, lying like this. He went close to Pitama Bhishma and asked him why he was not leaving his body. आपको इच्छा मरण है तो why don't you relinquish your body? Pitama Bhishma replied, this is the period of Dakshinayana and I will relinquish my body only in the path of when the Uttaran starts. Because I don't want to get reborn again. You can see only the suffering of this body, but not the mind which abides in sheer joy. I am not going to come back again. That is the sheer joy in my mind. See the caliber and stature of such highly accomplished yogis. Pitama Bhishma is a great yogi who have control over their pranas. When the pranas should exit the body, they have control over it. And contrast this with our situation wherein we keep wishing that prana should never leave our body. And yet, prana leaves the body. Against our wishes, it does leave the body. Okay, the last look of this adhyaya now. What is the benefit of getting so much knowledge from this adhyaya about the death, about the last moment, prayana kal? God says, Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarma vidam viditva yogi param sthan upayiti chadyam. Vedeshu, in Vedas, yajneshu, yajna, in sacrifices, tapasu, austerities, daneshu, charities, punya phalam, the merit, atyeti, translates, param sthanam, supreme abode. So God says, all the fruits of meritorious actions that are stated in the scriptures, resulting from the practice of asceticism, study of Vedas, performance of yajnas, performance of charitable acts, the yogi transcends all these and attains the highest primordial abode. That is the knowledge we have got in this adhyaya. So one would expect a yogi to experience the fruits of all his acts of merit that he carries out of this life. But such is the magnanimity of highly evolved yogis, beings, that it is said that when they leave their bodies, they distribute all the fruits of their meritorious acts to their devotees. During life, they keep on endeavoring to alleviate the darkness, ignorance that envelops the ordinary people. They keep on showering their grace. That is why we should make Guru, take his blessings. And love for spiritual upliftment of masses, they keep on working. And when they relinquish their bodies, they allocate the auspicious fruits of their actions to their followers, to their devotees. So what about the fruits of unmeritorious act? कुछ तो होगा ना, unmeritorious act भी किया होगा गुरु ने कभी कभी तो. See, although the yogi acts with an attitude of detachment or non-doer, it is possible that while acting through body, an act of demerit may rarely happen through his body. It may happen. To human is there, no? It is said that when the yogi leaves his body, the fruits of such actions get allocated to his detractors, to those who condemn or criticize the yogi. Thus, the yogi settles the account of his auspicious and inauspicious karmas and then leaves his body without any baggage. Balance sheet is zero. The balance sheet of karma account is thus balanced with no remaining of meritorious or unmeritorious fruits of his karma. Ordinary people, they live and die in suffering, whereas the jnani, the yogi, lives his life as a detached non-doer, and any accrued fruits of karma get allocated to either his devotees or his detractors. So the devotees who love their guru get bliss, and the detractors who think ill of the sages are accorded with pain and misery. You get what you want. So be careful of what you want, because you may really get it, what you want. There are many messages in the last sloka of this adhyaya. Wonderful adhyay. Firstly, be in the company of yogis and sages and gurus, and that with an attitude of total surrender and faith. For when you slander or malign others, remember that you are attracting inauspicious karma. A single sinful thought will bring along a deluge of evil, wicked, and immoral thoughts in your mind. One thought starts and it will start coming. And likewise, a single meritorious thought will bring forth several benevolent and uplifting thoughts. So we should be aware of what we are thinking, because thoughts have a tendency to form a long chain. And while some chains can liberate you, others will further entrench you into bondage. Second point of this shloka is one should study the scriptures, perform austerities, charitable acts, Vedeshu, Danishu, all that has been said, because by performing these acts, you are increasing the balance of your meritorious acts. And mind you, never ever become egoistic in doing these virtuous acts. Because if you do so, you will be accruing sin. अहंकार परमात्मा को पसंद नहीं है. Collecting demerit instead of merit. Keep on performing virtuous righteous acts and keep on praying to the Almighty that knowingly or unknowingly, no act of demerit should ever happen through my body or my mind. The mind is fickle, fallible, and thus there is always a possibility of it going astray. Thus always abide in the prayerfulness and beseech the God that you never ever drift from the path of spirituality. Implore the Lord for the wisdom to carry out the righteous act. To think such thoughts which will take you close to the divine and performing such acts are which are in accordance with the divine will. Live your life like a yajna, wherein you offer everything, all aspects of your life to the Lord. And abiding in divine remembrance, even if mistakes happen, learn from them and maintain awareness so that you do not repeat the mistakes. Don't stop if you make the mistake. Continue, just don't repeat those mistakes. Thus carry out all appropriate practice and do them joyously. Be in the company of yogis, sages, your guru, follow what they say. And what do the guru want from the disciples? What is Shri Krishna saying to Arjuna? All they want is your upliftment. For they have only love for you in their heart. For each and everyone, they have only love in them. So Shri Krishna says to Arjuna, you are endeared to me, thus I am revealing you that by living as I have asked you now, charity, austerity, serving, the study of scriptures, sacrifice and performing acts of merit, you will become a yogi and attain me. Live your life joyously, abiding in prayerfulness, harboring the firm resolve of becoming a yogi, of dispelling the veil of this ignorance and attaining the supreme divinity. This is the end of this adhyay. 8th adhyay, Akshar Brahma Yoga. We have discussed many tips given by Lord Krishna in this adhyay as to how we should live this life and how should we die. Now time to discuss this total message of this adhyay in the form of an anecdote. Highlighting the central teaching is what we remember at the last moment shapes our destiny. This is the message of this adhyay. Ramesh was a senior officer in a large government department. For nearly 35 years, his life followed one routine: office files, deadlines, promotions, and transfers. He was known as a strict but efficient officer. His desk was always full with phone ringing all the time. Yet, there was one thing he kept postponing. He used to say after retirement. What was that? He used to say, I will think about the peace, about the God, about the life after retirement. अभी मेरे को काम करने दो. But a turning point took place. A few months before his retirement, Ramesh suffered a sudden heart attack while he was in the office. He survived, but the experience shook him deeply. मैं कभी भी मर सकता हूँ. As he lay in the hospital bed, his mind did not recall salary slips, designations, or praise from seniors. Instead, his thoughts went to unfinished conversations with family, moments wasted in anger, and years spent without inner reflection. He realized something unsettling. In his most vulnerable moment, his mind ran automatically without his control. That night, the retired colleague came to him. One of his retired colleagues came to visit him in the hospital. The man quietly placed a small book by the side of this fellow, Ramesh, and that was the book of Bhagavad Gita. On opening randomly, Ramesh read the line from this chapter 8th. Yaya vapis paran bhavante tente kalevaram tantame vedikante sada tadbhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers at the time of death, that state he attains without fail. That is what we have learned. The word struck him harder than that harsh also. Ramesh finally understood what Adhyay 8 teaches. The last moment is not accidental. It is the result of lifetime of habits. One cannot suddenly remember the divine if the mind was never trained to remember it before. Just an employee automatically opens the last file he worked on, the mind at the final moment opens what it has practiced the most. After returning home, Ramesh did not resign from life or from responsibilities. He still went to work, he still signed the files, he still attended the meetings, but something changed. Every morning, he sat quietly for 10 minutes. Before opening office files, he opened the book of Bhagavad Gita. He practiced remembering the higher purpose while doing ordinary work. Higher purpose is that office work तो होते रहता है. That is ordinary work. Anybody can do it. Gradually, the peace replaced restlessness in his life. That is the magic of Bhagavad Gita. Particularly this Adhyay. Final lesson. Years later, after retirement, Ramesh passed away peacefully in his sleep. There was no panic, no struggle, only calmness. His son later found the same Bhagavad Gita on his bedside with chapter 8 open in that book. The message of this small anecdote is, death is not a new exam. It is the final result of our lifelong practice. Death is a result. It's not an exam. It is the result of what we have done throughout the life. Adhyay 8 teaches us, don't wait for the last moment to think of God. Train the mind now. Live in remembrance, not in fear. Because how we live decides how we live. That is the teaching of this Adhyay. How we live decides how we live. With this, we conclude the session for the day. Jai Shri Krishna for your patience. Now the forum is open for you to raise your questions. Jai Shri Krishna.
Beautiful, Bhaiya, beautiful. That was an enlightening session, and Bhaiya dealt in detail. He discussed in detail with stories to make us understand the shlokas learned this week. The lessons we learn are really profound. You know, what to think at the end, how to lead your life. It was beautiful because I don't want to say anything more than this. We will be seeing more of this in coming sessions, coming chapters. Now it's time for question and answers. I request those who want to ask questions to raise their hands and switch on their cameras and wait for their turn. Please make the questions precise so that more questions can be taken. Yeah, Bhaiya, over to you, Bhaiya.
जय श्री कृष्ण भैया.
Jai Shri Krishna. Shambhuji.
Bhaiya, the Vivechan was so nice, and you used to tell each and every word's meaning. This is very nice. We come to know a lot of things from you, and you explain it so nicely with some examples. Very beautiful. But my confusion is that in 24 and 25, as it is told that during this Uttarayana, Shukla Pakshe, in Agni Jyoti or whatever you told during lights and all that, If anyone is dying during that period, they will go to heaven. And during
Ah.
Dakshinayam, when this
Hmm.
Krishna Pakshe, in that
Hmm.
dark period, if someone is
Hmm.
dying, they will go
Hmm.
to Chandra, and again they will come back. Is it like that,
Ah.
or?
Ah. See, it is a very good question. This should have been asked. These paths are basically for yogis. They are not for ordinary people like us. It is for the yogis who have understood what karma is and what is the principle of karma. So it is for them. That's why Pitama Bhishma, he was a great yogi.
Yeah.
That's why he waited for Dakshinayan, Uttarayan to start. He did not want to relinquish his body in Dakshinayan. Because it is the yogis who follow this path. Ordinary people like us,
No,
or
he
like
was
any other
Vishnu
people,
was having Iksha Mitru. That's why he can wait. We cannot wait for that.
we cannot wait. But that is why we can improve our karma. Whether we pass this, we leave this world. See, there are many Santa, like Santa Dhaneshwar, Santa Tukaram, who passed away in Dakshinayan, not in Uttarayan. So it does not mean that Dakshinayan is bad. Dakshinayan is not bad.
But
But as
comparatively,
I
if
said,
someone is dying during Uttarayan, it's good.
yeah, comparatively,
Shukla
yes.
Pakshe,
Comparatively,
Uttarayan, in broad
Shukla
daylight or
Paksha
something
Uttarayan,
like that.
yes, yeah. From that period of December
That's Uttarayan
to
is starting, na?
June,
This from
Uttarayan is starting from December to June.
December to June, or this our this Sankranti.
Some people say Sankranti, but normally we say December, 22nd of December to 22nd of June. That is the Uttarayan. And when the rainy season starts in our case, June, July, August, September, that is normally the dark weather in our part of the world. There is a path of darkness for us from June to December.
In some books, it is written this from Makar Sankranti. It's,
Yes.
Uttarayan
It is,
starts.
it is also said Makar Sankranti it starts. But if you divide 12 months into two Dakshinayan and Uttarayan, then you take December to June and June to December, like that.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you. Jai
very
Shri
much
Krishna.
for your explanation.
Jai Shri Any other questions, please?
एकादशी 14 जनवरी की है और जो संक्रांति का
Hello.
खिचड़ी आदि का काम है 15 नंबर से 15 14 को ना करें
So, Vikas Bhaiya, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Yes,
actually,
please.
this end slokas 24 and 25, it
Yeah.
gave a new meaning to us. And
Yeah.
what you discussed was not about the physical living the world, but the way it
Way we
helps
live.
us to live the world alive here.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
actually, I have a confusion. We actually switch the duality from that state from 24 to 25, from 25 to 24. So how do
Hmm.
actually move from 25 to 24? That is my question. Means from the that state of confusion to state of clarity. Because some days we
Yes, see,
had such.
our effort to move from 25th to 24th, it should be that we somehow remember the God when we breathe our last. That should be our intention of living the life. And as this Adhyay has explained, it doesn't happen accidentally. It happens during our lifetime. If we are remembering Him, then automatically at the time of end of life, we'll remember Him only. If during the life you are remembering something materialistic, share market, real estate, properties, money, bank account, relatives, wife, children, then you will remember that only. But if you are doing meditation every day and focusing your mind on Lord, focusing on
Yes,
Shri
yes.
Krishna, then your mind gets focused. When you are alone, because always, when a person is dying, he's alone. He's alone when he's dying. Nobody is dying with him, no? Sorry. So at that moment, when you are alone, you have this habit developed already in your life that when you are alone, at least at that time you are remembering God only.
Yes,
Even
yes.
if we do inculcate this habit, that when I'm sitting alone, I'm remembering nothing else but only God. When I'm living with some other people, we are talking to them, okay, then maybe you are not so much attentive. But when you are alone, at least that moment should be fully devoted to God. Then at the end of life, when we are always alone, we'll always remember Him only.
Yeah,
So
and
that is what I
also,
have repeated. Yeah,
yeah, also, actually, I have joined Gita Pariwar since last 1 year,
yeah.
and last few months, last 3 4 months, actually, when I read this chapter 2, that give a very big meaning, very big shift, and
Yeah.
also accompanied by that this chapter 8,
Mm.
how you will treat the last moment. So now it
Yes.
also gives a shock to us that yes, now it is time we have to really. So I
Hmm.
think my experience is that this learning Gita, remembering the slokas, reading Gita is also helping the mind. But occasionally, sometimes some real problem comes in the life, then when you get disturbed. So maybe what you said that this this book is going to help us definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why how we think, it decides what future we hold, what
Yes.
life we'll hold in the next life. So
No,
that
no,
is why
I
we are
must tell
learning
you.
from Gita.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I must tell you, the best thing what has happened is joining this Gita Parivar and getting a new
Yes.
life, and also a mentor like you. You are a role model. I get a lot of inspiration from you. Thank you so much for being
Thank you
coming
so
into my
much.
life. Thank
That's why we should always keep praying that we should not get distracted from this path.
you.
God
Yes,
may not give us other pleasures in life. Okay,
yes,
ठीक है, मत दो हमको, उसमें मत दो अभी. But don't me make distract from this life, from this
yes,
spiritual path.
yes, yes, yes,
I'm
yes,
reading
yes,
Gita, I'm reading Vishnu Sahasranam, I'm meditating. Keep me on this path till my last breath. This is
yes,
the only
yes,
thing.
yes,
If He
yes.
gives us, then it is okay for us. Let other
And
things happen in
actually,
life.
sometimes when I have some difficulties, I
Uh,
sometimes say this difficulty is good for me because it keeps me reminding that you must now always remember the
ah,
God.
yeah,
Some people, they like Aravinda, sorry, the person, Guru of Vivekanand ji, he had
yeah.
cancer. So when he
Ramakrishna
told that
Paramahamsa.
you focus
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that, he said, "I am focusing on the God. Why should I focus on this?" So like that
yeah, yeah.
only.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
right.
So thank you very much.
Kunti,
It is so
Kunti always
enlightening.
used to pray to Krishna. Kunti always used to pray to Krishna that
Yes,
Krishna, please keep giving some sorrows to me in my life.
exactly. So that
Because
I
when I will
remember the God
sorrow,
all the time.
I remember you more.
Yeah, I
So
think. So
these
I
are also
can.
bhaktas, disciples,
Yes, yes.
who ask for sorrows
No.
in their lives.
And you gave some real anecdotes. It was so touching and so
Hmm.
awakening that yeah, they are really very very important. I think that
Yes,
makes your vivation more impactful. So thank you very
correct.
much for giving the anecdotes.
Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Surendra
Hello.
ji.
Jai Shri Krishna, Devji.
Jai
Uh,
Shri Krishna.
I just I want to just request you for chapter number 20, sorry, the sloka number 20 and 21. Uh,
20 and 21.
yes, yes.
Uh, Avyakto Sharitu Satamaham Parangadinyam Prapanivartante. What do you want to know about these two slokas?
Basically, what the Lord wants to tell actually, some special vibhutis are there for what it for that or sloka number 21 and 20 and 21.
Okay,
Means that
20
the
sloka
normal
says,
things will be, in
sloka number 20
sloka
says,
19 is
first
for
the,
general people and sloka 20 is for special people or for yogis only.
so you're talking about 24, 25 or you're talking about 20, 21?
In 2025, that there is a small thing that even in Uttarayan also we got darkness
So
and
you're talking about 24,
Krishna Paksha
25.
and night is
So those
also
the
there.
slokas what you're referring are 24, 25, not 20, 21. 20, 21 are different. Yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashya sanvinashti, that is that 20 sloka. That everything perishes, but the God never perishes. So that was 21, 20, 21. But if you're talking about 24, 25, about Uttarayan and Dakshinayan, then those slokas are 24 and 25. So you want to know about those two slokas or which one?
This 2021 now.
20, 21.
Yes,
Okay. So 20
that is
sloka.
Yes. Please.
20th shloka. See, after God described the perishable world, now in this 21st slok, Lord is describing about the unmanifested eternal existence. God says, Parastasmat bhavanyo vyakto vyakta sanatanaha yasya sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. That means beyond this manifest and unmanifest material world, there exists another unmanifest reality.
Okay.
What is manifest and unmanifest in us is our body and our soul. But beyond this, manifest and unmanifest, there is another unmanifest reality, eternal in nature, which does not perish. Even when all beings perish, we discuss so many types of pralayas, when everything gets off.
Yes. Yes.
But this entity does not perish. And that entity is the God. So that was the 20th slok. Yasya sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. All bhutas, everything goes off. But then this entity does not go up. And in that context, we discussed about the story of one Mr. Rajiv, who worked in a company for 25 years, a multinational company and all that. So that was to explain that 20th sloka. And 21st sloka, what we read was Avyaktokshara ityuktastamahah paramangatim yam prapya nivartante tadhama paramam mama. So God here is saying this, that where his abode is, where he stays, that which is described as imperishable, unmanifest essence is deemed to be the highest goal of human beings. And those who reach that goal, they never return back. And that is the place, that is my heavenly abode. Supreme abode is that, the place where people reach and never come back. So after reading Gita, Paramatma is reaching our goal of life. Our forefathers have been teaching us that attainment of Swarga is the best goal of life. Krishna says, no, that is a short-term benefit. If you go to Swargaloka, after some time you have to come back here, again go through the same cycle of birth and death. Why didn't you reach me? If you reach me, then you don't come back. So, worship the material world and come back, worship Krishna and don't come back. So, choice is ours. God is showing us the mirror. What way you want to do, you decide. Okay, any other questions, please?
Yeah.
Yes.
Namaste, Bhaiya.
Namaste.
I have got some doubt. In 24 sloka,
Yeah.
in Shukla Paksha Uttarayana, Uttarayana means 6 months. In 6 months, Uttarayana, Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha, 2 periods will come. Then what about Krishna Paksha of Uttarayana? A little doubt.
Very good question. See, Uttarayan or Dakshinayan is more dominating as compared to the Paksha, because Paksha is a short distance, 15 days.
15 days.
While this Ayan is 6 months.
Yes.
So 6 months distance is more longer than the 15 days duration, isn't it?
Yes.
So the Uttarayan or Dakshinayan, it dominates more than the Paksha, whether it is Shukla Paksha or Krishna Paksha. So the dominance is of the Uttarayan or Dakshinayan and not of the Paksha. It starts from, as I said, from the fire to the
We shall
day.
take to major period.
Major period. Major period we should
Okay.
take.
And
Yeah.
one more doubt. In 18th sloka, Brahma for 1,004 Chaturyugam 1 day. Similarly, 1,000 Chaturyugams 1 night.
1 night, yes.
And in this daytime, people will born from the Sukshma Sarira of Brahma.
Yes.
And they will die in the night time of Brahma. Then
they will go back in the Sukshma Sharira of Brahma.
Then I have got a small doubt whether it is foolish or see, that means in the night time there will be that 4,000 Chaturyugams, there will be no births.
No life that time. No manifested life that time. The manifested life starts only when the dawn, when the Brahmadeva's day starts, then all the jivas which are absorbed in the Sukshma Sharira of Brahmadeva, they start getting the bodies again as per their karmas. Even
Yes.
at that time, the karma does dominate what kind of species you get, what kind of bodies you get. But during the night time of Brahmadeva, everything is standstill. Nothing happens.
Oh.
Total dark. But it is a period of 4.32 billion years. One day of Brahmadeva is 4.32 billion years. And the night is also 4.32 billion. So 4.32 billion years, in that lifetime itself, of one day of Brahmadeva, how many lives we will live? If you take 100 years as our life, you divide 100, 4.32
Several times
billion.
this Atma will rebirth.
Rebirth.
It will join in the Brahma after 4,000, 4 Chatur Yugas, some million years.
We don't know. We may join the God even in this life. We don't have to wait till the end of Brahmadeva. If you attend Krishna, then we don't have to wait for Brahmadevas to get merged
If
into.
his deeds are good, he can join before that period.
That's why God says, na a Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartino jana mamopete to konte punarjanma na vidyate. Brahma lok tak jaiye aap, but you will have to again come back. To come to me, then you don't have to go back. So in this life, we manage somehow to attain Krishna, then we can forget about Brahmadeva.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, please. Any other questions?
उत्पल जी आपको कुछ are you going to ask any question?
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Utpal ji, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Vikas Vaidya Bhaya.
Yeah.
Often I listen to you recorded Vibhishan using the link, and I am fond of your Vibhishan, highly thought. And now today, this is the first time I am taking part in the asking and answering question.
Okay.
Bhaiya, what is the, I would like to first ask you one question, that is, what is the theme of this chapter? What is the main theme?
The main theme in the name of chapter is Akshara Brahma Yoga.
Akshara Brahma, does this chapter deal with Prayankal or the departure, the time of departure from this earth?
This chapter teaches us how to attain that Akshara Brahma and what kind of mental preparation we should have when we are breathing our last. So it is about Prayankal. This is about the death. It is about finishing of our body. It is about finishing of our life on this earth.
Achha,
So that's why, yeah.
I want to ask you another question. That is, if we do not get birth after our death or demise because of our some virtuous act, then what will our condition after our death if we do not get birth?
That is the objective of Bhagavad Gita learning, that we should not get birth. Then what happens? If we don't get birth, what happens? We become one with God. We become a part of God. And in Virat Roop, when we learn the 11th Adhyaya Bhagavad Gita, in that Virat Rupa Bhagavan, a lot of Rishis, Munis were seen in that Virat Rupa Bhagavan. Those are the souls who have become unified with the God, who have become one with the God. So after maybe few thousand years, if the God again shows his Virat Rup, and if you and me are so doing some virtuous act that become one with the God, in God's Virat Rup, other people will see us also. Because we become one with the God.
What is the state or condition of that oneness with God? I mean, moksha.
That is the path Bhagavad Gita teaches us. Either you follow the path of Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, that is we discussed in second Adhyaya. You follow the path of Karma Yoga, that we discussed in third, fourth and fifth Adhyaya. Or you follow the path of Bhakti Yoga, that we discussed in 12th Adhyaya. Any path that suits you most, that you follow. Destination is same, routes are different. You can go to Delhi by train, by bus, by aircraft, by helicopter, anything. Destination is same, the routes are different. And Gita teaches us, our Vedas teaches us the different routes. Jnana Yoga is difficult because it needs some past samskars. Anybody cannot absorb that jnana so easily. That's why for us, Karma Yoga has been recommended by Krishna also in Gita. That for samsaric people, grahasti people, Karma Yoga is the best. Nishkam karma karte rahiye. Live the life the way you normally live, but without attachment, without sights on karma phala. If you follow these two principal rules of life, then you can attain moksha.
Sangam
Sangam
taktva phalanicha. Sangam taktva
phalanicha.
phalanicha.
Perfectly said. Sangam taktva phalanicha. That is the path
Here
to
it is
moksha.
sloka number 16. Brahmana bhuvana loka punaravarti narjuno
Correct.
mamupetto tu kaunteo punarjanmana
Punarjanmana
vidyate.
vidyate. So, Brahmavana Loka, up to Brahma Loka. Brahmavana means up to Brahma Loka. All are Punaravartino. That means all are two-way traffic. Go there and come back. Go there and come back. But Mamapetya, if you attain me, Kaunteya Kunti Putra Arjuna, Punarjanma na vidyate. Then you don't get rebirth again.
Bhaiya, my another idea I want to share with you.
Yes.
That is, if we practice this habit of remembering the Lord Bhagavan Sri Krishna all the time in the midst of our daily action or activities, then at the time of departure from the death, we will be able to remember Him.
Yes. Very right.
That is, it is the sloka number 14. Ananda cheta satata yoma
Yomam
smarati
Smarati
nittasha
Nityasha. Tasam
tatsaham
Sulapasa.
silava partha nitya yuktasya yoginah.
Correct.
That means at the time of departure, it will be very easy for us to remember Lord Sri Krishna. If we
Yes.
now constantly remember him.
Yes. But I will give more weightage to slok number 7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanuswari yudhyacha. Remember this one charan only. Mamanuswari yudhyacha. Remember me and keep performing your kartavya karma. Keep performing your duty.
Here,
Just remember me.
in the case of
Mamanuswari yudhyacha.
Arjuna, in the Yuddha is applicable in the case of Arjuna, and here in our case, our daily activities is our Yuddha.
Our yuddha is our daily activity. Our kartavya karma, our prescribed duty is our yuddha. So keep performing your kartavya karma, your prescribed duty, but Mama Nismara. Remember God also. Even if you remember this one charan of Bhagavad Gita, we have understood Gita. Mama Nismara
Bhaiya, I want to share with another idea. If we get birth after our death or departure, then what bad it would be? Because if we get birth as human beings, that is mentioned in sloka number 19 in chapter 7. That is Bahuna Janmana Mante Jano Banamam Prapajyante Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sudurlabha
Samatma
Samaha.
Sudurlavaha. Samatma Sudurlavaha. See,
If
such
we
people
get
are
birth,
rare.
if we get birth as human beings, and if we want to take shelter at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, then what bad it would be if we get birth as human beings, and after 84 lakhs birth we get human life.
See, the problem is, whatever birth we may get, even if you get the best of human being birth, how guaranteed you are that you will not be prompted, you will not be getting attracted to other material uh, attractions of life in the next life. It is difficult to control our emotions, our senses in this life. How can we guarantee that we will control our senses in the next life? With great
Next
efforts, we
life.
are trying. So it is not in our hands. It is not in our hands because Prakriti is
Not
controlling our actions. Three gunas of Prakriti, Sattva, we are dancing to these tunes of Prakriti, Sattva. If we come out of those three clutches of Prakriti in this life and we are trying to become Gunatit, what is the guarantee that in next life also will become Gunatit? If you get stuck with one of these gunas, then again you have to come back.
I will now conclude, but my last question, that is sloka number 8. I want to know about Adhi Ajay. Is Adhi Ajay the supreme being existing in our heart?
Yes, Adhyatma is that Lord Vishnu in our heart.
in our heart. Adhiyajay. And Adhibhuta means
Adibhuta is
we
the
are
creator of
living.
this bhuta, that means Brahmadeva. Adibhut, who created all this perishable world, is Adibhut.
Adhibhutala Brahmadeva. And Purushashchadhidaivatam.
Okay. Any other questions, please?
Adhidaivatam, Bhaiya. Purushashchadhidaivatam. Adhibhuta Sharobhava Purushashchadhidaivatam. Adhidaiva. What does the word Adhidaiva indicate
See,
or refer to?
see, 4-5 things have been said. 4-5 things have been said. Kin tad brahma kimadhyatmam kin karma purushottama adhibhutam ching parutam adhidaivam kimuchyate. So adhyatma, karma, brahma, adhibhut, adhidaiva. Adhidaiva is
Bhaiya,
our soul.
sloka number 8. Sloka number 8.
8.
I want to
adhyay?
know what is here. These adhyay 8. Akshar Brahma Yoga.
Yeah, sloka number 8.
Sloka number 8.
Says,
Sorry. Sloka number 4. Sloka number 4.
adhibhutam ksharobhava purusha adhidaivatam adhiyajna hame matra dehe dehvrtamvara. So he talks about adhiyajna and adhibhut here. There is no adhidaiva here.
Adhidaiva. What does the word Adhidaiva mean?
Adhidaiva is the soul in us.
Oh, it's the soul in us. Adhidaiva.
Yes.
Purushashchadhidaivatam. Okay, Bhaiya.
But
Thank you.
Adhiyajna is the Lord Vishnu. We are a fragment of Lord Vishnu.
Adhiyajna is the Lord Vishnu existing in our heart.
Yes, Adhiyajna is that.
Jai Shri Krishna. Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Shri Krishna. Namaskar.
Jai Shri Krishna. Namaskar. Any other questions, please?
Yeah, so I think all the questions are over, no?
Okay.
Yeah. So shall we move forward, Bhaiya?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Vikas Bhaiyaji for clearing the doubts of our sadhakas and for the wonderful explanation of the chapter. On behalf of Geeta Pariwar and myself, I extend sincere thanks to the technical team consisting of Kasturi ji and all those who have been at the backstage for their relentless and efficient efforts in making the session a great success. May I take this opportunity to thank all those who attended this session. Please do continue your Geeta sadhana and attend these sessions to enrich your spiritual knowledge. Today, Manju Gupta ji from Bangalore is going to recite Prarthana. Joined Geeta Pariwar in November 2024 and a sadhak in L4 and is giving seva as group coordinator and technical assistant. Let's invoke the blessings of Bhagavan Krishna. Didi, please. Manju Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Prajapriyam Dharma Sanstapakam Viram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna to everyone.
Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Thank you, Didi, for the melodious prayer. Now it's time for Hanuman Chalisa. I request each one of you to be present for Hanuman Chalisa, please. Didi, Hanuman Chalisa, please.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मुनि कुंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन वसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समबाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत